You have questions? We have answers. Welcome to the Therapist Question Box with your host, Miss Lindsay Schiss.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Schiss. I'm your host of the Therapist Question Box, where we are here to answer your toughest questions. So ask away. Today I have with me Anna Smith. And Anna, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Anna is one of my friends at Therapy Utah. I have a lot of friends there, but Anna and I work closely together and always enjoy your insights and happy that you're here today. So today we're going to talk about social media and relationships. I think it's something that, boy, we're all experiencing. It's something that we are learning to navigate in real time, right? Whether it's ourselves or our children. And so we'll just jump right into the question and get started. So here's the question. My partner and I have different views on social media. I love sharing about our relationship, but they prefer to keep things quiet. Sometimes I feel hurt when they don't post about me, and they feel like I'm seeking validation online. How can couples healthily navigate social media without it becoming a source of conflict? So good. So very different needs here, that one wants to be posted about and one wants have a little more privacy.
Correct.
What do you think about this question?
I think it is coming up more and more in couples therapy. I totally understand it. I'm definitely the private partner. I rarely post personal things on Facebook. We have a family Facebook page because I don't really want unflattering pictures or every silly thing that we do. I want those pictures.
Right.
I just don't want them for the world.
Yes, absolutely. So why do you think people place value on having a post on social media? What's the psychological need behind that?
So we have two different spouses in this question. We have the private one and we have the other one who her spouse thinks that they're doing it for validation.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that the private partner is kind of looking at boundaries, security, privacy, personal values. The other person is looking for connection, expression, external validation. Really, it's a matter of we have different needs and values and the things we prioritize.
That is such a good way to look at it, that we have different needs and values. And it's not about you need attention or you're too private and you don't want to share, but it's what are our values and needs, and that neither one is right or wrong.
Correct.
They're just different.
They're different.
Yes.
And yes, like you said, they're not right. They're not wrong. Just because they're different. We just have different needs.
So then how do we look at those different needs and say, okay, super different needs in this question. One person wants to post, one person doesn't. How do we honor both needs without compromising ourselves?
We've got to understand each other. We've got to have conversations.
Yeah.
We've got to learn to put some boundaries around it. That's really part of this. I always go to, this isn't really the problem, the social media. It's just an amplification. So if you can actually solve this and understand it, you're actually going to solve a lot of other problems in your marriage.
Okay, so let's explain that a little bit more. That this is an amplification. That the problem is not about social media, but there's a deeper problem going on.
Yeah, it's not the problem. It's not the solution. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. The same tool that brings one couple closer might tear another apart, right? Because it amplifies what's already there. Is there trust? That social media becomes a fun way to share love? Is there insecurity? It turns it into a measuring stick or a battleground. And then there is their disconnection. It becomes an escape or a source of comparison.
Oh gosh, all those things are so important to look at. And so you're saying social media just broadcasts that. It's just a mirror.
Yes.
It's saying this is actually what's going on and we need to pay attention to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a mirror. I'm a private person. You like validation, public, external validation. And there might be some needs there that aren't being met within the relationship.
Yes. So understanding each other, because again, instead of saying, in this question, he feels like I'm seeking validation, that may or may not be true. And so getting really clear, like, okay, what are my motives for this? What are my motives for wanting to be online or not wanting to be online? And then, so the first step, I think, would be understanding that. What are my motives? The second step is, okay, and what am I doing with that? Like, how do I show up? And then understanding that about your partner as well. Like, what are their motives versus trying to figure it out and question or, they're wrong, I'm right. But really getting clear, like, what's the why behind it?
Why does posting matter so much? Or why does not posting matter so much?
Yes, absolutely. Why does posting matter and why does it not, right? So, is there ever when we talk about boundaries, you said there needs to be boundaries. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because I think there are partners that can feel very scary. Social media can open up doors and can open up relationships and opportunities that were not there 10 years ago. We all know this.
Yes.
And it can feel very scary. And so let's talk about boundaries that might, for in general, and everybody's boundaries are going to be different, but let's talk about the importance of boundaries around social media.
I think boundaries is kind of the first step that you've got to look at.
Okay.
What is okay to share? What's not okay to share? Right? I kind of have already shared a little bit of my secret. I don't want unflattering pictures of me on there.
I don't know many that do. I don't know many that are super excited about that. So, okay, we'll just lay that out there.
Right? I have seen it work in my own family members' lives where someone was not very healthy physically and couldn't get out and make a lot of friends. And they were able to connect with people from their past that was really, really good for them. They all of a sudden had a way to have friendships and connection all the time. I've also seen what you said. It opens up new relationships that weren't possible in the past.
Right.
And I would say that goes both ways. It goes into a negative one. How many people have you done therapy with that they're like, he's been liking his ex-girlfriend's post. He's been commenting on other things, or they've been messaging and chatting with each other. Right?
It can be an avenue and can be so problematic, right?
Yeah.
And I think also can be really hidden. And so, a partner that maybe is anxiously attached, meaning they kind of have some wounding. And so therefore they feel maybe more needy in the relationship. That can feel very threatening.
I would say addressing those triggers is a big part of that for both people.
Yes.
Right? To understand where your insecurity lies, that's going to be one of the keys to having that boundary. If I understand that, then I can abide by it.
Yes.
I'm a more private person. I don't want to put a lot of things on social media because I just feel like it's not always true. We only put the good things.
Yeah. It's the highlight reel, right?
The highlight reel. For sure it is.
Yeah. But when you said that, it really is important that we understand our own self in this, that we're really clear, like this is an insecurity of mine, or this is a fear of mine, instead of going and blaming maybe a friend, a partner.
Yes.
But that you're really aware, like, you know what? I don't like unflattering pictures of me. I'm sensitive towards that, right?
Yes.
So if you, knowing that about yourself, would you go and have a conversation with a friend and say that posts a lot? Let's say you have a friend, you go to dinner, she posts all the time. Would you say, hey, before you post, can I just look at that picture?
I would.
Yeah.
I would actually. Yes. Okay. But I also refrain from posting pictures of other people without asking them.
Yes.
I think that's an important boundary for anyone. Whether you like unflattering or not, you really should ask before you post pictures of someone else.
Permission.
Yes.
Absolutely. I had an experience where we went on a vacation and we were all it was a girls' trip. We were having a great time and we ended up getting in a mud fight and it was messy and we were acting like idiots. Yeah. Well, and I think that was the thing is it was like, this is great for posting because we had one friend who was really into posting and the other friend said, oh, I really was hopeful that was not going to be seen of me. She was doing the Oompa Loompa song and dancing, and she just said, oh, I didn't know that I really was going to have that for everyone to see. And she was lighthearted about it. But I think the point is well taken. Like this was a moment that she didn't anticipate was going to be for all the world to see. It was the four of us having fun together, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I think there is a really important understanding and consideration if you are going to post that you get permission.
Yes.
Yeah.
That goes along with another one that I hadn't really thought of is that there really should be relationship status updates should also be mutually agreed upon.
Oh gosh, isn't that true? Yes.
Right?
yes.
Sometimes I'm just like, oh my goodness, why would you share that about your relationship online? I had a next door neighbor that came up to me one day and said, I just wish I had a relationship like you and your husband. And it had just been Mother's Day, then our wedding anniversary, and then Father's Day. So 3 right in a row of wonderful, glowing reviews of how much we love each other.
Right.
And I just looked at her and I said, oh, it was just our anniversary and Mother's and Father's Day. Are you talking about that? That's not the real world. Right? That is.
Did you share that with her?
I did. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
oh, that is not the whole picture. That's the best of everything.
Yes. Oh, that's so validating because it does feel like this is real. 100%. This is all, and it can make us feel like certainly our life isn't as exciting. We don't have that richness in the relationship, and we're not gushing about
going
our
on
spouse.
Vacations every week.
Right. It can feel that way, right?
It can.
So the reminder, this is a highlight reel, and that this isn't real life. And yeah, you felt that way. I'm sure you felt that way about your husband, and there were some really great moments you had. But that doesn't mean this is all the time. That doesn't mean this is consistent all the time. And to put some reality back into the situation.
Yes, there's very little reality in our social media.
Yeah. And I also think sometimes that social media should be a reflection of healthy relationship, not the foundation of it.
Yes.
That social media, that we're not saying, love bombing on social media and saying, oh, my spouse or my partner is so great and whatever. But that it is a reflection of what's going on and not the only time that things are being said, right? As I was preparing for this, I was listening and reading a